Alrighty, and we are back. So this level loves to fucking lag, let me tell you. So we may need to turn a bit of it down, but we'll see. Yeah, looks like we gotta turn it down just a bit. That, and then fucking hell if I know that. At least for right now, yeah. So, over here is a dead guy. A truck. There was an accident there. Unless it was on purpose. But you never know. Sounds like denial. And then there's two guns, ammo for your killing. The military police shotgun. So this is one of the cool bits where you get the gun. Now this is the level where the action really starts to pick up. So we're gonna go through here and hopefully it's gonna work. So you get the shotgun and little tutorial here. You can blow up barrels. And yes, they do have physics. And unlike most games, the shotgun doesn't just have its shells, little pellets disappear after like 5 feet. They continue. It's just not particularly, you know, precise. It's accurate, but most games tend to really poorly judge the actual range of a shotgun. And as someone who's gone to a range and shot guns myself, you know, I wanted to do it proper, or at least a little more properly. You know, for a game anyway. Now at this part, this is where George kind of changes color as the nightmare becomes a little more real than you would hope. So we go this way. And in earlier builds, there was some of the fog and the smoke and ashes, but the intensity of it had to be toned down because it caused a strobing effect. So if you look back at Demo 2 footage, you can actually see that there's more intense fog and other cool shit like that. Like, if I wanted to, I guess I could technically just turn it up. Something like that, but it's not quite the intended effect, so set it back to something like 8. I think. You can also blow up these tents and they run around and flop around and shit. It's pretty cool. The shotgun was also pretty fun to make. Big ass skyboxes, as you can see throughout the world. The green and the natural life is starting to slowly but surely be overtaken by the trees that are creeping up ever so closer to the sky. And it's not just sunset, but it's like the world is on fire, and the smoke and death all around you. The zombies are creeping out from the darkness, coming out in the day, starting slowly but surely increase in size and numbers. And there's a pretty cool, funky soundtrack. As well as that, there are giant blimps in the sky, Imperial warships. On this part, you run, and then you go to those barrels. Or at least I like to. And blow them all up with one shot. Except for that guy. Shoot him with the hip fire. Over here actually is a little ARG I did back in 2017. It was set up years in advance. Because Rogue Planet started as a musical project and eventually turned into kind of a, you know, this game here that I'm playing. After just years and years of making, you know, shit on the YouTube channel, I figured, no, fuck it, why not make a game too? It was kind of bold to make the soundtrack first, then the game, but if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. It's free. So You know, nothing in life is free. If it doesn't turn out 100% the way it was, then can't be too picky. Over here as well, as you can see, there's the tents, the military still trying to set up little bases, but that guy he was a scout, he was trying to set up the tent, got fucked sideways, and the rest of his buddies who tried to run from the monsters got killed. And there's little bits of, you know, trash and other stuff kind of here, picnic tables and benches, as earlier there was a playground in the 4th level next to the church. It's things like this to kind of tell you that this place was once a real lived-in world, you know, little lamp posts and things like that as well. I mean, it's all trickery, it's all an illusion, but I didn't have to add a road or nothing out there. I could have just made it to where it was just forest or just some fake 2D skybox. I didn't have to fuck around with buildings showing them being enveloped by the trees, but I did, and I made it quite elaborate, you know, this fantastical reality, if you will, that Marcus kind of inhabits, where it makes you feel tiny when you see the scale of things, like giant Imperial warships flying above you. And I figured that'd be kind of fun. It's that almost Star Wars Battlefront feel. Star Wars was a fairly big inspiration earlier on, but as I went on, I kind of wanted to do something more unique and ended up on surreal action horror. The scale and the actual scope of the game itself were the biggest issues, and figuring that I was just best at making a linear game was really what got me into finishing it. I originally wanted to do open world so many fucking times I lost count, but after everybody and their dog just got sick and tired of open world, self included, I just opted to do a simple game that was more small in scope and just simpler. And I ended up on this, where it definitely has big skyboxes, but you're ultimately just playing Call of Duty. Not exactly anything too big about that, other than just, you know, the actual environments. If you think about it, you're just going down a corridor, but instead of it just being walls and there's nothing beyond those walls, you get to see through the fences and see there's these big-ass fucking maps and shit out there. And you can break out of the map and just go there if you want, but for the sake of this, I'm just gonna kind of stick to the path, just to keep it simple. And if you want to screw around with it yourself, then you're more than welcome to. I would hope that it runs a lot better for you than it did for me here, because clearly it's having some issues when I record it with MSI Afterburner. Little demons that hide in the dark. And yeah, they try to flank you if you're standing in a spot too long, then they run back to their buddies. A lot of their voice lines don't play for some reason. I really don't know why that is. It's kind of unfortunate, because I put a lot of work into them. But I guess if they couldn't be used in this game for whatever reason, I'll at least give it a try in the next one. So, you can have the shotgun. Another cool thing, this is full auto. So I can shoot him with the full auto machine gun. Got him. I'll reload that. Come on, you bastard. Whacked him in the head. If you're gonna melee in this game, aim for the head. It's an insta-kill. But, yeah, big-ass mountains, spooky trees and lights. The more and more you go, it's starting to look more like a grim fable. Almost Victorian England. Dark ages are creeping in. The more you go down this wanton path of death and destruction. There's a big view of the mountains over there. Originally this was supposed to be a lot flatter, but people were able to break out of the map too easily, so I changed it around a bit and kind of made it look more like this. And big fucking skyboxes. You're in the, like, you are in the middle of all the death and destruction was kind of the idea. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn up the camera distance a bit to 9. You're supposed to see a giant airship there, but, you know, for the sake of the frame rate, however little of that we seem to keep having, had to turn it down a bit. But yeah, it's a pretty big map. It just doesn't like to handle it when MSI is on, so that's fun. It also just doesn't run super well on the computer sometimes, and I can't fucking tell you why for the life of me. It'll run well on a laptop, though. As for desktop, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. As we can see, one thing in particular that I really enjoyed doing, especially, was the shadows. I don't think the shadows are going to be casting, but you can see it in some of the trailers. But there were these big wavy trees that cast shadows on the ground, and it was pretty cool. There's also a little Easter egg here. Camilla lucidly. This is your last chance. You can still turn back. You don't have to remember all of this. Now, originally Aurora was supposed to say that line, but that's Kent talking in the final game. So, as we round the corner, we can see a bunch of airships. And not just a bunch of airships, but well, they're seeming to have a bit of trouble loading in, so let's, there we go, just for the moment. Big ass city. And yeah, you can get down there too if you wanted. I figured that'd make for a cool skybox. There was a whole other level in there that was supposed to take place, and this level was supposed to go on for even longer, but I kind of had to cut it short and put it over there just to get the game out on time. And well, I did hit the deadline that I'd set for myself, but thankfully it was better sooner than later, because this engine just didn't have much more to give, and as we can already kind of tell, it's already struggling as is when I do basic shit like record it for no reason. So hey, at least the lowest settings are working. Do I really care about troubleshooting this busted ass engine anymore in my life? No. But you can go through here, and as you can see, there are dead people. They got caved in. They got crushed. These are some of the 10 little soldiers. They went over here to die. So we're going to go over here. And that's foreshadowing is what it is. And that's where the ARG from SOS ends, right there. These are the guys, as you could tell, who put the SOS distress signal out from Command Post Alpha Hawk 1. And Command Post Alpha Hawk 1 was that base they were trying to set up over there. But their scout got killed and the other guys got ran over by a truck, because the driver turned into a zombie. We turn up the view distance a bit. Bunch of big ass airships. Ain't a huge city. Works well on my GTX 1650. I just don't know why it doesn't want to work on here on a Titan. But honestly, I don't care to know. Here's Aurora. This place is still worth saving. Don't forget that. Things I tell myself when I'm faced with a shitty engine. Am I right? Anyway. It looks like shit. It runs like shit. It's laggy as fuck. But it was fun to make. And thankfully I've had a way, way, way better fucking time with Unreal Engine 4 than I ever had with this shit, so... would not trade that for the world. It was worth it to learn game design and game development on this, and take that knowledge and, you know, now put it to somewhere and can go to better use, and hey, if y'all are willing, pay me some money for it, you know. Hey, how about some money? But, you know, we'll see how it goes. If not, I could always try eBay. But whatever. Here we are. The music goes quiet, and there are trees blocking your path. As well as that, you can see up above there's a bunch of destroyed houses. And, nothing but the fires and ashes left as you contemplate your life's decisions, like I did. So here we go into the Big Boo's haunted mansion. And thus ends the part. Camilla